Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the CBL X's and O's podcast for season 2023. Got Tom O'Connor joining me again today as we review what was an all over the shop round 7 in the Northeast. Tom, we've had, second table Myrtleford dropped 2 games over the weekend. By the sounds of it, Albury have won a couple of close ones, potentially on the buzzer in the men anyway. And then we have a look at the women's, and it's Seymour able to get over the line against Albury and give them an opportunity to potentially finish top of the table.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at the results that could have gone either way, and it's just great to see the top teams playing each other finally at this back end of the season. So, really looking forward to the breakdown of this, Matt.
Well, let's go. Let's get into the men, and look, let's just say the ladder's been shaken down post this round. So Myrtleford hosted Albury on Saturday night, and unfortunately, the Saints went down by 3 points. Riley Booker, shooting 31 points, did all he could for the Saints, but it just wasn't enough for them to get over the line against the visiting Albury Cougars.
Yeah, you look at it, and I have a feeling he might have had a bit of a listen to me this week on the podcast, Sonny Hawkins, but he's come up trumps, 27 points for the Cougars. But it was the hand of Liam Brady right at the end of the game, Matt, just to knock down that buzzer beater 3 to give the Cougars a win. Great to see Riley Booker come out and have his 31 for him again. He's put up some numbers this year. Tyler Barker probably down on what it was. And it probably shows for Myrtleford the missing experience and leadership of Jalen Barker not playing in this game. Obviously, we'll break down later that he was there on the Sunday, but it would have been huge to have him in there this weekend against Albury, that's for sure. But well done, Sammy Hawkins. You looks like you accepted a bit of the challenge that we spoke about.
And your team, the Seymour Blasters, made light work of the Shepparton Gators, winning by close to 60 points.
Yeah, look, it was probably not a result we expected to go as big. We knew that we were, for ourselves, it was going to be an effort on the defensive end, and to hold any team to 41 points with the experience of Dylan Wayman and Nick Dodd on there is huge. Obviously, for Shep, the young guys coming in off the bench, it was a bit of an opportunity for them to play, but it was great for probably us to see Cooper York come into it and Keenan Gorski get back to some really good form of just knocking down some open shots and getting himself going, which really set up the weekend for us as well.
And Wodonga travelled down the highway to take on Wallen in the jungle, and Tom Crow shooting 22 points just wasn't enough for the Wolves as they went down by, just over 20 points.
Yeah, it's good to see Crowy. He just continually puts his numbers up, uses his body really well, knocks down outside shots. But for Wallen, an expected win. You come away, you get the job done. You put up 105 points, hold a team to 82. Probably not where they want to sit at the moment, but well under Phil and Luke Leesengame there to be the leaders again. Phil obviously with 24 and Luke with his 19. So an expected win there for Wallen.
And then on Sunday, your team, Seymour, welcomed Mansfield onto your home court, and Eden Hobbs continued his fine form, shooting 30 points for you guys.
Yeah, he's an athlete, Matt. It's some of the leaping ability that he does have is second to none, and he's at such a young age doing what he does is obviously great. And then probably another great one is Cooper York finding some confidence within the group. He's a young 16-year-old, part of the MPP program, so it's great for him to be able to get some minutes and come away with a substantial win and make it a great weekend as well, 2-0, and really make a cement on that ladder that I know we will break down very shortly as to what's happened there.
And Albury hosted Benalla on Sunday, so Benalla sitting on top of the table, came into Lauren Jackson, and Albury, after having a 3-point game on Saturday night, decided it's time to have a 2-point game on Sunday, and they got over the line by 2 points.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben Kirby was definitely a difference here. Obviously, Eric Miraflores with his 38. Obviously feels at home on that court up there at Albury. But talking to Coach Wally Armstrong from Benalla this morning, he made a point that Ben Kirby was a difference. He's shooting, knocking down shots. Wally said that it was a very high percentage shooting game from the Cougars as well. And it could have gone either way. Wally spoke about that it was a final shot for them from Benalla. Sometimes a little bit rushed at times, but at the end of the day, it was toe to toe the whole way through. Teams would get up, then the other team would get up, and it was he said at the end of the day it could go either way. And unfortunately for Benalla, it was a 2-point. It's not the way they wanted, but for Albury, it was season defining for them.
And then our last game in the round between Myrtleford and Wallen has gone into overtime. And unfortunately, Myrtleford come out of the weekend 0-2, which is unfortunate for them. They've gone from second to fourth, and that's how quickly the ladder can change from a little loss like this one. Yeah,
absolutely. There's that man. He's back into this game, and obviously wasn't able to lift the home side over the line. Jalen Barker with 37. Probably hurts with your two bigs in Levi Young and Marcus Laspina, both fouling out through either through the fourth quarter or through that overtime, which probably let Luke Leesgang utilise his size inside and get himself 22 points. But it's a huge weekend for Wallen. You travel; it's always a tough trip going to Myrtleford, and to come away with an overtime win when you were down substantially, to rally and get yourself on top is absolutely huge, and credit to them. It's not something that's easy to do when you've got guys sitting with foul trouble as well. So well done to Wallen and Myrtleford. Obviously, it's now battle for finals.
That's it. Now let's take a look at the ladder, as you mentioned, after round 7. Benalla still sit on top, 7-2 record, 1 game still to play. Wallen currently in second with a 6-2 record, and they've got 2 games in round 8, which are pretty important to Wallen. They get the 2 wins, and it really locks them in to a top 4, if not a top 2 position. Seymour, Myrtleford, and Albury, 3rd, 4th, 5th, all on 6-3 records. It's all going to come down to round 8. And I'm pretty sure 2 of them teams play each other in round 8. So you're going to have to win your game in round 8 to give yourself that opportunity to play finals. We've then got Shepparton following them with a 4-4 record. They've still got 2 games to play and a sneaky chance at the top 4. They do rely on results going a certain way, though, so it will be interesting to see if Shepparton can sneak into that top 4. We've then got Wodonga, Wangaratta, followed by Mansfield, and that's how our ladder is currently shaping up. So what do we got? 6 teams still fighting for 4 spots potentially there, Tom.
I feel like we've been saying this all season, Matt, that there's going to be 6 teams vying for 4 spots. And probably you saw last weekend for Wallen, 2 big wins, especially one on the road. Myrtleford, you dropped 2. You're now back in the bunch of potentially you may not make it. Whereas for Benalla, it's win 1 and you finish top. And then for Seymour and Albury, it's do or die. And I know we'll break down that later in this week, Matt. I can't wait for the breakdown of games we're going to have and what the potentials are with the round 8 to come.
Now let's move across to the women's side of the competition. And we had Seymour hosting Shepparton on Saturday night. And the Gators put up a really good fight against the Blasters, only going down by, just under 25 points. It's a good effort from the Gators.
Yeah, absolutely. It was probably a bit of a scrappy game to watch, to be honest. Probably the experience that does show is Nicola Stewart and Carly Cranston. Just older heads being able to rally the troops. You see the efforts of Jazz Hunter in there, and you've also got some younger ones that can mix in, but it's really experience that leads that group. And yeah, well done to Shepparton. You come out, you're going to battle, and you've got to battle and try and shake up where those top three teams finish in finals and see who you can play against as well.
And Walland welcomed Albury into the jungle Saturday night. And obviously Melissa Buckley is listening. She's come out and had a stellar weekend for you. She shot 24 points on Saturday night, which wasn't enough to get the Panthers over the line against top of the table Cougars.
Yeah, well done, Mel. I know it's nice when they have a bit of a listen, that isn't it? So no, probably an expected win there from Albury as well. Obviously, it's tough to travel down the highway as far as you have to. Come away with a win. Probably Alira McCowan back into the group, and Tamika Coleman just back to where they belong. They said, all right, it's enough. We haven't been at the top of our leaders at the last couple of games, so we need to get back to it. And so they did. It was well done to Albury, an expected win for them.
And then Albury returned home on Sunday to take on the Blasters. Blasters coming up the highway, but unfortunately couldn't continue their winning form. They split the weekend 1-1. First loss for the season for Albury, I might say. It's the Blasters are hitting some form at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's obviously after a scrappy night the night before, you go to travel, play on the hard floors that are there at Lauren Jackson Stadium, and to come away with the 13-point win is huge, and it's going to open up that top spot as well coming into the last round. But yet again, who are the two names that are leading for, or the four names, sorry, two of each side that are leading for both teams, and it's Carly Cranston and Nicola Stewart for the Blasters, and then Alira McCowan and Tamika Coleman, obviously the leading scorers there. So there's also experience that lead on the defensive end for both groups, and I can't wait to break down what's going to happen next week with these teams coming up too.
And Wallen took on Wodonga Sunday as well at home, and again, like I said, Melissa Buckley shot 25 on Sunday, so she's continued her form from Saturday night. But we look across to the Wolves there, and Elizabeth Murphy, 40 points. She's making sure the Wolves are hitting form as they come into finals.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what great leaders do. 40 pieces, that's impressive, especially after spending a couple of hours in the car. And just looking there, Jess Freeman as well joining her. There have been two standouts for the Wodonga Wolves this season. That's for sure, Matt. Well done to Mel again. Yes, she's been listening, obviously, to the pod, and no, it's an expected win to Wodonga. You want to hit the right form now, not early in the season, but now when it's we're seeing it with a couple of teams. So it's well done to Wodonga, travel and to get a win.
Let's have a look at the ladder now. Albury's still up on top. 6-1 record following their loss on the weekend. Closely followed by Seymour in second with a 5-1 record. Still 2 games in hand to play in round 8. Is Seymour, and Wodonga's got 2 games still to play in round 8. They're currently 4-2, and them top 3 positions can shuffle depending on what the results are in round 8 quite significantly. So we'll preview that as we get closer to round 8. And then Shepparton currently still hold into 4th spot with that 1-5 record, having played Wallen, but Wallen sit in 5th, and they have the opportunity in round 8 to get their first win, and potentially might see them jump into finals, which will be quite spectacular for the young Panthers.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a battle for that 4th, but it's also a battle for 1, 2, 3 as to where you're going to finish. Who wants a home final? Comes to finals time, Matt. You want your crowd to be there. You don't want them to have to travel. And any time you can have your home crowd there supporting goes a long way. So I can't wait to do the preview later in this week. This is going to be a lot of fun.
That's it that's our round 7 review in the Northeast Conference. And as you said, Tom, let's jump on a call later this week and we preview what will be round 8, the last round of season 2023 in the Northeast. And it's going to come down to the last game of the round to work out who is going to be finishing finals or their final position. So we look forward to seeing you later this week, Tom. And for our listeners, stay tuned.